Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, welcome to my channel if you're new, hello, my name is Casper. We have some very out of focus fairy lights today. I thought it would make a nice background. Turns out they're just glaring, but I've sat down and set up now, so we're just gonna have to put up with it. Also, if you can hear that noise in the background, that's my guinea pigs. I've made noise, therefore they have to make noise, apparently. Today we're going to be talking to you guys, I'm going to be talking to you guys about seasonal depression and what helps me when I start to feel a little bit low. Obviously this doesn't just go for the winter, but I understand that as it is winter now and the nights are drawing in, or have really drawn in, that it is quite common, for people to feel a little bit more sad than they do in the summer. So yeah, I'm obviously not an expert, I'm not an approved mental health professional. This is all just stuff that I have found from my personal experience, or like talking to others and what helps them, and just stuff that I've done from research. So it's all off my own back. Not promising it's going to work, but as I always say with these sort of things, try it at least once, because that's kind of the whole shtick with coping skills. This is going to sound incredibly patronising and cliche, but get outside, try and have one conversation a day with face to face with a human, regardless of who that's with. I know that, and this is something I'm sure we've all learned from lockdown, but I get quite agitated when I haven't been out of the house, whether it just be for a 5-minute walk to Morrison's, or like a proper going out and doing something. Again, it helps you get chores done, so like going shopping and stuff like that. And there is some truth to the saying of like taking a walk for your mental health, because it does help. I know that it's hard to get out of the house, but once you're out, it feels a lot better, and it keeps you busy as well. And I think socialization is incredibly important when you are, because it's so easy to isolate yourself when you're in that kind of mindset. So kind of pushing yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit can really help. Obviously, know your limits, like I always say. But yeah, following on from that one, go back to basics. I often find that when life gets a little bit overwhelming, a little bit stressful, that just going backwards a little bit and just going back to focusing on eating correctly or eating enough, regardless of what it is, making sure that you're drinking water, getting that stuff done and focusing on that can really help. You do the basics and the rest just kind of follows suit, because you find that you'll have a lot more energy, and you'll feel a lot more motivated and a lot more comfortable. For me, what I usually do when it comes to that sort of stuff is I try and set one task or one goal for each day, no matter how mundane it is. So it can be anything from getting out of bed and getting dressed, to having a shower, to getting a task done that I've been putting off for far too long, whether that's applying for jobs or doing my therapy homework, anything like that, because afterwards you get that little dopamine, you feel like you've accomplished something, and that's because you have. And I find that when it's a house related task, once I've done one task, I'm more likely to do another task, because I have that motivation. I'm like, well, I'm already doing this, I might as well do this. And it gives you that sense of accomplishment, and it makes you feel like you've done something. And I know that that's not the most important thing, but it can help, but doing what you can do, and it's okay if you didn't do much, or if all you did was get out of bed. It's knowing what you can do and focusing on that rather than focusing on what you didn't. Now, the first thing that I'm going to say is to get into a routine. I know for me, I mean, personally, I'm autistic, so I thrive on routine. But I know for me that I work at school, so when I have the holidays off and I don't have that routine, I don't have that schedule, I just kind of crash and burn, and I really struggle. Um, so creating even just a little daily routine, even if it changes every single day, even if I just plan for the day ahead or that afternoon, having a routine of getting out of bed, making my bed, getting dressed, doing a task, and then I don't know, chilling for the afternoon. It gives your brain that predictability, and it gives you that kind of comfort and routine, because regardless of whether you're neurodivergent or not, humans by nature are creatures of habit. So having that predictability and having that routine, I find that really it helps, and it helps keep you busy as well. So yeah, but just finding what works for you, I think, is that is everything. Like I said, it's not an exhaustive list. If you're struggling, then please do help out. Please do help out. Please do reach out. I will put a load of support services, crisis lines, all of that fun stuff in the description below for those if you need it, or if you know, hand it out to someone else. You know, I don't really know what else to say. You will get through this. You know, it's not going to last forever. Um, like I said, please know when to reach out. Please do reach out, and try and keep yourself afloat as much as you can. I know that it's not easy. Take rests, know your limits, and stay safe. Shall see you next week. The fifth, and I would argue most important tip that I would say, or that I'm going to give you, is to know when to go to support services, know when to reach out for help. Because as important as it is to like talk to people around you and talk to your friends and family about it, and while I highly recommend that and I highly support that, in the nicest way possible, there is only so much that they can do. And if you are struggling to cope, and if you are reaching crisis point, then definitely reach out. Definitely go to your GP about it, or go privately if that's the way that you choose to do it. I know that we slag off the mental health services over here in the UK, and CAMHS and community mental health services, and no end. And while they are an absolute joke and very much postcode lottery, I still would encourage people to go and get support from there. It is annoying that like the level of support that I'm getting from my community mental health team in Staffordshire is not available if I was in Essex, even though I'm the same person and I'm in the same country. It's ridiculous. But and the fact that I had to reach crisis point to be able to get that help is still ridiculous. But I think it's still important. If you're not able to access those services, then there are loads of charities out there. Body, Mind and Soul, there's Papyrus, Samaritans, Young Minds, Movember, there's Calm. There's so many different charities, there's so many different support services. Some of them even offer therapy courses free of charge or low cost. Some of them just offer crisis lines, which again, I know a lot of people slag off, but they are still there, and I know that there are so many people that have benefited from them, myself included. And I don't think that someone else's negative experience, or even your own negative experience, should put you off it, because the thing about like crisis services is that it very much depends on the person at the other end of the phone. So when you phone a crisis line, you'll get a different person every single time. You are unlikely to get the same person more than, I'd say, twice. just because there's sheer amount of volunteers. And also depends on what time of day. So, unlike everyone in their own job, everyone, you get different people who are better at their job than other people. So, it's worth a shot. There's no harm, and I think it's incredibly important. And I know that for a lot of people, including myself, it has, without trying to be dramatic, saved their life or at least benefited. Number 4 is taking vitamin D tablets. Now these are the ones that I have. The pigs think it's for them, but this is something that is recommended by many doctors that people take from about September all the way up until March, because while yes, you do get vitamin D from the sun, but because of daylight savings, the amount of vitamin D that you get from the sun isn't enough basically for your daily recommended allowance. I don't really know how else to phrase it, but from March, April time, most people should be able to get enough vitamin D from the sun. I still take mine just because I'm incredibly deficient, and I don't get outside as much as I should do. It's not food for you, buddy. I'm sorry. But again, it helps you feel a little bit better, because you know, that's usually the reason why people feel a little bit sad, huh? That's because they don't get the vitamin D. I don't really know the whole science behind it, but it's supposed to help, so I was like, there's no harm in doing it.